Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and now we are sitting inside the MC20. I have this car for an entire week, so we'll do a couple videos. They just dropped it off at my house, so this will be a first drive video, and then I'll do a video which I'll post in a week or two after I've had it for a whole week and lived with it. Then you'll learn how it lives with MC20, what's good, what's bad, is everything reliable. So this will just be kind of a short video. So let's start her up. So no longer does Maserati use V8s that I know of. So this is the basically same engine we had in the Grand Cabrio, a twin turbo 6, but instead of 540 something horsepower, it's 620. So when that car was detuned, here it is the full Monty. So really nice steering wheel, same steering wheel as the other car, except I noticed this has a launch control, which the other one didn't. Here it's actually a dial. So we start out in sport. There's a wet mode, I guess, for bad weather, which would probably make the traction control full on. GT mode is how you would drive normally, sport mode, and if you hold sport, it goes to Corsa. And one thing you'll notice, the engine not only gets louder, but you have the Formula One tack like I did with my McLaren. This is the convertible version, so you also have the roof that changes. If we press a button here, we always have to accept on the Maserati. Now, the Grand Cabrio, I had trouble finding the lights. The lights were on here. But on this one, you don't have to worry about that because you actually have switches on the side to turn on your headlights, thank God. Mirror switches are right behind, they're kind of hidden behind the steering wheel. And you have your window switches here, like a Ferrari, and you can also roll down the back window for some extra sound. The mirror is pretty cool. You can have the regular mirror, which shows you essentially nothing, or this forward, and just like the C8 Corvette, you have the camera mirror. It's showing wood, so right now we're not going to see too much. So what we could do is we can drive in driver manual mode. There's no park unless we shut off the car, then it goes into park. So you would shut it off, put the parking brake, and then it'll automatically put in the park for you. You can drive in driver manual, R for reverse. Let's try out the reverse camera. All right, so that's a pretty good camera. You got the 360 view, and you can change it if you want to see certain parts of the car, which is very convenient. We go into drive. Now, I have noticed that the tires do need to warm up, and we have a red line approaching 8,000. So twin turbo V6, 620 horsepower, and carbon fiber center console. I think this has the 40, I'm still waiting for the window sticker, that it has the $40,000 carbon option, which gives us the front and rear diffusers and the carbon interior. And let's see if this car is fun to drive. Let's take it out on some roads. Let's get in front of that big tractor trailer. All right, so we're driving in drive mode right now. It's an 8-speed dual clutch. All right, so as we approach this light, this is just our first drive, so this will be a quick video. Then we'll do the week-long one, which will be the long video. It actually has a meter here. It shows how much, like you watch the telemetry for Formula One, how much I'm pressing the gas or the brake. So as we see, as I press the brake really hard, the red will go on, and obviously it'll be yellow for gas. All right, so the automatic mode was fine. It shifted fine. We're in sport mode, so I'm going to put it in manual mode. Now I have to shift the gears. You got a little blind spot monitoring. Oh, wow. So you can see how much I was pressing the gas there. It's a small fuel tank. It doesn't hold much gas. I use a quarter tank just driving 10 minutes from my house, and I was driving pretty relaxed. It was a cold morning. Now this is a real dual clutch. Unlike the Grand Cabrio, which I had, which was an 8-speed auto, this is this is actually a true dual clutch, not a torque converter automatic. Now I can tell you, compared to the Grand Cabrio, which weighed significantly more, this car is definitely way more nimble, and it feels exotic. It's hard to make a 6-cylinder turbo sound good. Ask Porsche, even if you've driven like a 997 turbo, one of my favorite cars, it still kind of sounds like a vacuum cleaner. Now in sport mode, it makes the suspension stiffer. You can play around with this button and soften it up. So sport mode, and then Corsa gets even stiffer than that, and you can dial it back. The downside is, unlike the other car, the Grand Cabrio, where I had the switch up here, I have to look down and take my eyes off the road to do it. So it's best done, say, at stop signs or when you're at a red light. Tires need some heat in them, so I have to kind of go slow. Right now, stay on your side of the road, please. but it feels exotic. This reminds me a lot of my 570S. 570S was a little different because I was sitting in a carbon fiber tub, but this has really good views. The front, anyway, visibility reminds me of my NSX. You can see really well in the front, say even peripheral vision, where you have the buttresses for this convertible. It's severely limited your blind spots over your shoulder, but you do have blind spot monitoring. And obviously you really do need that really good backup camera that this car has. So we'll take a loop around here on the side roads and we'll finish up a little high rate blast, because by then the tires will be. There we got some oversteer, still some more oversteer. Now this car does not hide the fact of a turbo. I love naturally aspirated high revving engines. We did the GT4 RS, I have an R8 V10 and the NSX S2000 high revving NA motors. And this car will not hide the fact that it's a turbo. You have the blow off valve literally by your ear because it's mid-engine. And anybody who drives this car will know it's turbocharged. And I love it that, hey, we're turbocharged and we want you to know all about it. Rather than a lot of the cars, even say my 2017 911 when they went all turbos, kind of tries to act like a naturally aspirated engine. This doesn't. This is like, hey, we're a turbocharged engine and we got over 600 horses here for you. It's loud in here, first impression. I think it's going to be even louder with the highway, so I think to try to keep the weight down, not that this is a very light car, I think the convertible weighs around 3,600 pounds and the coupe maybe 32, 33. But there is noisy, it is noise in here. I noticed that on my 911s too. The glass is very thin and it does get noisy, especially when you're on the highway. So what I think we're gonna do is go this way to not go behind the slow traffic. It's rear drive, so unlike the Maserati Grand Cabrio that we drove, that was all-wheel drive. This is actually rear drive, so you do have to have the tires warm. It can overwhelm the tires when you go full throttle. All that turbocharged goodness hits all at once, and your tires will show you that all that horsepower hit at once. The ride's a little stiff over bumps now, but I've given some people rides and they said it's smooth and it rides nice, so maybe I just notice it more. But you really do feel it's low but not too low, so it's not bad. It's pretty easy getting in and out of it. But I do feel like I'm driving like a race car from the past in this car. So far, so good. So far, I think it drives great. We'll see how it does in the highway in a second. I think the noises, engine noises are good. I think they've done a good job so far, making a 6-cylinder turbo sound as good as probably you can make it in today's world. Here's that same truck. We could get a run on these turns if we were behind a slow car, but this car really pulls. It looks like the red line is close to 8,000 RPM, which is great for a turbocharged car. The pavement is a little broken up here, so we'll see how it does on broken pavement. This car actually does a really good job in manual mode. And you can see in sport mode, it really accentuates the shift. So if we go into GT mode now, we'll see it's a little more relaxed, and it's weird because I know it's done on purpose, the tachometer will only show you the RPMs that you're at. So if we want to see 4 or 5, we have to accelerate to those RPMs. It says we're averaging 12 miles to the gallon. Now with the Grand Cabrio, the best gas mileage I got out of that thing, even average with some highway driving, was 9.9. Now that was a very green car that only had like 200 miles on it when they gave it to me. This car has 5,600 miles, so it's broken in and then some. All right, so we'll get to the highway now. We're going to go into Corsa mode, so we're going to go into Sport. And now to get into Corsa mode, the only way to get into it is to hold it down until it goes into Corsa. And you know you're in Corsa because the engine noise got a little louder, and to put in the tachometer here. I think we have enough heat in the tires. We'll do a little quick accelerate. And then I'll be back in a week or so with a long-term review. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment what car you want me to review next. And what you think of this car. Should we get some more Maseratis? All right, this is a tough intersection here because people literally come right off the highway. All right, so now we're going to start in first gear. I'll let this car go, so we got a little room here. Wow. This gearbox is really good. This dual clutch is pretty amazing. Wow. You hear a lot of noises here. Anytime you run over a rock, a twig, you hear it. There's not much sound deadening, which there should not be. You guys want to do one more acceleration since we're in Corsa mode anyway? Yep. Why not? I'm going to do this one in second because I think first gear is going to overwhelm the tires a little bit. Great view. And I love that you can see like the curves of the car here, which I think are pretty amazing. You're definitely driving something special. Brakes are a little touchy. You really have to hit the brakes hard to get the car to stop. So when I was moving this in and out of my driveway, I went back to my other cars to move them back in, and I practically put my face through the windshield because you have to press so hard on this pedal to get anything, and my McLaren was the same way. And this car has steel brakes, not ceramic, so I would think ceramic might even be worse. But I remember the McLaren, you had to hit so hard on the brake that sometime, like in a light, you could accidentally roll forward. So I think something similar is going on here. You'll get used to it in 5 minutes, but the problem is when you jump up in your other car, back into your other car, you have to remember that. All right, last acceleration, and then we'll end the video. See that turbo noise? It lets you know that we're in a turbo, right? All right, we'll end the video here. And remember, we'll have a full video for you, 7 a.m. Eastern time, either next Monday or the following Monday. And remember, I do YouTube Shorts Tuesday through Sunday. So full-length video Monday, and then the next 6 days Shorts. You have Glenn's Car Collection now 7 days a week. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.